Welcome to Deep in the Heart of Texas 4-H, the official Texas 4-H podcast. We are entering our phase of recognizing and celebrating and speaking to our Texas 4-H Foundation 4 under 40 winners. So, Johan is with me today to get us started here. How's it going, Johan?
It's going great. My name's Johan Grotegut. I'm a Texas 4-H at-large delegate on council. I'm also a Texas Youth Livestock Ambassador and a Water Ambassador from Deaf Smith County. And today we have with us Brady Ragland, the CEO of the Tri-State Fair and Rodeo, as well as a 4 under 40 winner.
How's it going, Brady?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for being here. We're super excited to have you as our first guest of the 4 under 40 group. So you get
Yeah.
to really work all the kinks out here for our interviews.
Perfect. Yeah, love being a guinea pig. No problem.
Well, congrats on the recognition there. There was a lot of great people nominated and a lot of votes came in. So pretty big deal.
You bet. No, I feel really honored. I felt very honored just to be on that list. A lot of those folks that were recognized on the nomination list were folks that I know or am familiar with, and just seeing the works that they do, was just happy to even be among that list. And then when I got the news that I had been selected, was super thrilled about that. It's just 4-H has played a huge part of my life, literally ever since I was born, and to be recognized amongst that group and then within that group was really a true honor. It's certainly up there for sure for me on awards that I've received. I'm really humbled.
That's
Could you tell
awesome.
us a, oh, could you tell
Go
us a
ahead.
little bit more about your experience growing up in 4-H?
Yeah, so like a lot of folks in 4-H, but maybe even a little more so when you have a dad that's a county extension agent. I feel like I was born, bleeding green, Kelly Green. It is something that I have probably some of my earliest memories, hanging out with my dad at the county extension office, as he was leading 4-H meetings, or leading a livestock judging practice, or just anything that was involved in extension, and then more specifically with our 4-H program. So I literally grew up in the program from the day that I can remember, and that means I kind of participated in all things. Kind of my sweet spots outside of just the show animal projects, which of course we did heavily, which would be mainly swine and beef, is what I showed growing up. I showed my first pig at the South Plains Fair in Lubbock when I was 3 years old or so. And then beef cattle followed not too far after that. But aside from that, did a lot of things. Primarily, I remember the food challenge was something that I was active in. I happened to win the food challenge, with a recipe called Harvest Pumpkin Bread. My dad was living at Floyd at the time, which is known as was known as the pumpkin capital of the world, and so it only made sense that I did a pumpkin dish, and was lucky enough to win the food challenge. I actually won. Well, I should back up. I should say not food challenge as we know it today, but more so as the oh, help me with what
Food
we
show.
yeah, food show. I said
Hmm.
food challenge because that's what's on the brain here at the Tri-State Fair, but food show was what I participated in. And so actually my stepmom Angela, she really made me study for food show, and it was something that I wanted to try to do as well as I could early so that I could move on to other projects. But actually, looking back, I really enjoyed that experience, and I remember cooking down there, and preparing the dish all by myself, and then going in front of the judges. And of course, I think it's changed since then, like everything has. But you had to know all the food guide pyramid, and describe your dish and describe everything, and just a ton of public speaking. That's one thing that I was, as most young folks are, a little apprehensive of anything public speaking related. I remember having to do a Jerry Clower skit, that a lot of folks don't even know who Jerry Clower is anymore, but he did a lot of kind of funny talks, and I memorized one of those and gave that at our district roundup, and then had to give it in front of our whole group, and was terrified to death, and really at a lot of times I failed miserably in our public speaking events. But just over time, it becomes a little more natural, And I feel like 4-H really kind of set the stage for any sort of public speaking or interactive skills that I may possess today. 4-H was really a huge part of that. So did photography. Was fortunate enough to win the beef record book whenever I was junior or senior. I can't remember. And then a huge highlight was being a part of state council. Really, really enjoyed my time on state council. Was fortunate to serve as first vice president to another award, not a recipient of this award, the 4 under 40 award. Lonnie was Woolley at the time, now Luchek, and our lives have continued to intertwine even since our state council days, as we both went to Tech, and we were, I was in their wedding, and her husband Cody and I were on the same judging team, and so life kind of has a way of keeping you connected when you grow up in 4-H and all, the agriculture way of life. So I really enjoyed state council. I went out. You guys are going to have to help me with all the names because I can't remember exactly, but I went. We had our year was a Congress year, so I really enjoyed that. That was a key core memory growing up. Really enjoyed our state roundup our senior year, and then got a chance to go to Atlanta for convention out there, and all those leadership opportunities. Felt like, we went to Washington D.C. and our year was lucky enough to be the 100th year of Texas 4-H. So we got to meet President Bush face to face. I distinctly remember asking him a question that he answered. I asked him what he missed most about Texas, and he said the people. So I'll never forget being able to ask a president a question directly, and them answer you. And then I guess I'm leaving out a huge part, and that would be livestock judging. That's really what took me to college and kind of routed some of my decision making, was participating in livestock judging. My dad was our coach. We had a great team. I hate being braggy, but I am very proud of the fact that we still hold the all-time record at the state contest. Our
Wow.
team did, and then that, like I said, that career path or that livestock judging experience really for most of the kids on our Floyd County team and some of the ones right behind us kind of carved a path for us to go to college, and so we owe a lot to that experience and all that livestock judging teaches you. So anyway, that's just the first question that I've answered. But 4-H, like you, hopefully you can tell, was just a huge part of my life and something that I gained just a ton of experience and life lessons from.
Before we move on, it's so funny that you also have a pumpkin experience because we interviewed Dr. Courtney Dodd a few weeks ago, and she also made like a pumpkin loaf or something, and she did quite well with it. But then later it came to find out that her family absolutely hated that pumpkin loaf, and so it's like pumpkins like not allowed in their house now because
Yeah.
of their experience with that. So apparently, pumpkin is the way to go for your food
Pumpkin is the
show
way to
deal.
go if you want to
Yeah.
win food show for sure.
Yep.
I wish that I could still make that recipe. I wish I could say that I take it to all the parties and stuff. My stepmom would give me a hard time because I probably can't remember how to put it together. My wife would like to enjoy that, but we made it in a coffee can, and then I sliced it up and talked about it. I still enjoy pumpkins, but yeah, there must be something to pumpkins and food show. I recommend it if you're listening to this podcast and participating in food show.
So something you mentioned was the Tri-State Fair. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and what you do for the Tri-State Fair and how 4-H has prepared you for that role?
You bet. So I currently serve as the CEO of the Amarillo Tri-State Exposition is our formal name. Basically, the Tri-State Fair and Rodeo is our major event that we produce. We operate a 104-acre facility here in Amarillo, Texas. We got about 11 structures that we rent out in the off season, but our bread and butter event is the Tri-State Fair and Rodeo. It is the largest family-friendly single event in the Texas Panhandle. We advertise about 120,000 people come to the fair and rodeo. We've got stock shows, we've got horse shows, we've of course got a food court and a midway. We've got a PRCA rodeo, we've got concerts, all things that people know and enjoy usually about that come kind of accustomed when you hear fair and rodeo. We've got a dedicated staff of about 15 folks that I oversee, and then roughly 200 or so dedicated volunteers and board members that we answer to and work hand in hand with. Our mission, especially recently, I would say over the last 20 years with the development of our scholarship program, but just some of the additional youth contests that we've put on the table for young people to participate in over the last 4 or 5 years. That kind of shows where our organizational heart is, if you will. It's like a lot of fair and rodeos, but of course, about the Western way of life. It's about young people. It's about youth and ag. It's also about community. And I grew up going to and participating as a show kid in a lot of fairs and rodeos, and I know there's sometimes some beef between show kids and general fairgoers, but it's great to see the two come together when you see a large event like the Tri-State Fair and Rodeo. It takes everybody to make a large event successful. Fairs serve as one of the few remaining large events that truly are a place for everyone. You see all walks of life. You see all different types of people that enjoy just getting together and making memories with their friends and family. And there's not a whole lot of those opportunities left that are outside of our cell phones. It's kind of nice to have a real world experience and come to a fair and just have some fun and let loose of kind of life's problems, if for so to speak. So anyway, I've really enjoyed continuing to be a part and connected to ag and 4-H and FFA through the shows and the contest. But I've also really, kind of grown to love the non-ag parts of it that are real community based. They really bring a lot of folks from around the Texas Panhandle together and just have a chance, like I said, to make some memories and have some fun. So I think there's the foundation for me was set and rooted in agriculture, but it's led me here. I kind of have a career path that involves event management. After I got out of college, I went straight to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo and managed the livestock department there. I moved out to Montgomery, Alabama, for about 3 years and worked for the Farm Bureau, essentially out in Alabama, and had a great experience out there. And then got a chance to come back a little closer to home for me. I grew up in Lubbock, and so Amarillo and the Tri-State Fair. My stepmom worked here for about 15 years, so we have a lot of connections family wise here to the fair as well, and love to stay a part of 4-H, and that's kind of how it's led. Kind of how 4-H set the foundation, but here what I do for a living here today.
The fair is definitely one of my favorite times of the year, and it just keeps going back to those pumpkins. But I saw the giant pumpkins this year there, and those were really cool. So, what you kind of mentioned livestock judging is one of them, but what more specific opportunities in 4-H have helped shape the trajectory of your career and your future?
Yeah. So I could answer this in several different ways. The people would be number one. The connectivity that 4-Hers have because of all the experiences that young people are kind of met with when you're involved in 4-H. All of us probably, and Johan, you're going through it right now, but probably have a story from State 4-H Roundup where you had some fun, you participated in a contest, you met some friends, you met a girlfriend, you got to dance the night away. You had, just all these just different things that come with going to State 4-H Roundup. That and like I mentioned, my connection to Lonnie, but not just Lonnie, several other folks on that under 40 list there that I know that we are still friends with today. So the people that 4-H connects you with that you don't even really realize it at the time when you're a young person, but you get to be my age and even older, and it becomes a key part of who you are today and the people that you know and maybe what job you have and who your friends are and who you ended up marrying was probably tied some way back to 4-H if you were active in it. And then the other side is just all the exposure in the variety of contests. There's kind of a home for everyone in 4-H. So it doesn't matter if you're interested in the fashion show or you like to sing and dance or you want to do a share the fun. That's kind of your personality, or you want to get more in depth with some of the skillathons or more on the ag side. I mean, I like that it's rooted in agriculture, but 4-H has kind of evolved to be a little something for everyone. So if you can't find a place in 4-H, it's probably more on you and less about 4-H because of the wide swath that 4-H offers. So, 4-H can really impact you in a lot of different ways. I'd say, lastly, the get out of your comfort zone type situations that 4-H exposes you to. I mentioned kind of getting on stage I was probably an intermediate when I was given that Jerry Clower skit, and I just remember being so nervous and not having any confidence. And then when I got off that stage, just thinking, if I can accomplish this, I really can accomplish another, something else that I don't think I can do. I can push through. I can see through the other side instead of just giving up. And so it exposes you to a lot of situations where you got to jump out of your comfort zone. And on that note, the interpersonal skills, usually everything in 4-H, not everything, but a lot of things have to do with giving a speech or talking in front of someone or shaking someone's hand. I mean, those things go a long way. And that kind of stuff really never goes out of style. And it doesn't matter what industry you go in after you graduate, high school or college, that those types of soft skills are going to be really, really important.
Definitely. What does it mean to you to be recognized in the inaugural class of 4-H for under 40 alumni?
Oh, truly humbling. I mean, like I mentioned, 4-H has been a part of my life for that long, and anytime that something's kind of ingrained in you, and then you get recognized, by that organization or by that entity, it's something that you can truly be proud of and hang your hat on it. I'm just hopeful to be able to give back throughout my career here and whatever else life throws at me, as much as 4-H gave to me. Give that opportunity to young people. That's why we've focused so heavily on the scholarship side of things, but as well as like growing these youth contests and kind of whatever 4-H is offering is something that's on our radar that we might want to offer here at the fair. And so 4-H is just one of those organizations that to me is always going to be a part of who I am. And so to be in this first class, like I mentioned earlier, to be even just recognized amongst those people that were nominated and then to be selected, just I couldn't be more proud or more honored.
What was your time like? You talked a little bit about your time on state council. What was that like?
Awesome. I love the chance to get to be in that leadership role. I love the connectivity that our specific council, which I feel like every council has this same experience, getting to meet folks from all the districts and come together at Brownwood. Like I said, had a chance to lead a Congress year, which was truly a memorable experience for me. I remember, Lonnie serving as the governor, and I had the press corps and passing notes, and trying to pass bills. And I mean, that's kind of stuff that a lot of young people, most young people aren't exposed to ever, even as they get older. And there you are as a high schooler, and you're getting to sit in the same seats that the congressmen and women that actually passed the laws, are sitting in. It's unbelievable. And so that was awesome. And then I think every state council member always remembers the time they laid their green jacket down and kind of were amongst their peers their senior year. That was a special time. And we had a lot of fun together and made a lot of memories. I enjoyed it a lot.
What advice do you have for someone who's currently on serving on council or for just 4-Hers in general?
Yeah, I would say get involved in as much as you can. When you're young, you'll never, and it probably doesn't seem like it, but you never have as much opportunity to participate in something that you're unsure of whether you're going to like or not as you do when you're young. As you get older, as you develop more of a career path, there's, some real life comes at you and good, bad, and ugly. A family begins, etc. You don't have as much time or as much opportunity to throw yourself into things that are not something you're familiar with. And so when you're young and you're growing up in 4-H, I would say if you have an interest in archery, try archery. If you got an interest in livestock judging, if you want to be a part of a share the fun team, make sure that's known through your 4-H leaders and just get involved. You also, in doing that, probably will see that you're much more interested in something that you had no idea you would be. Food show was a prime example of that for me. I didn't love it at first. I still recognized the benefit of it today. And it was just something that was a little outside my comfort zone. And it really kind of pushed me. I think that's what a lot of folks that develop leadership skills in 4-H, that's what they're good at, is they push themselves a little past what's comfortable to them, and they're better for it, and they are exposed to more opportunities because of it. And so, I would say try to get involved in as many things as you remotely think you might be interested in, and 4-H will kind of do the rest. They've got the system put in place to make sure you're successful if you want to be, and or you want to practice, you want to get better. They've got leadership folks that can be right there to help you, and then of course your competitors or your colleagues, if you're on a team, getting to know them better. It's all around a good thing.
I love that you said you'll never have an opportunity like you do in 4-H to try something and see if you like it. Because that's so true. I mean, in adulthood, yeah, you can pick up a hobby, but you're never going to have the chance to compete in a show like Chopped if you're not a professional chef. And now you can just go
Exactly.
do Food Challenge and try it. And yeah, my husband is an example of just trying things. He was like you, a livestock judger, showed livestock, but his mom made him try fashion show and he hated it, but he got to try it at least. So
Exactly.
try
Exactly.
everything.
You bet. You bet.
And it's no what am I trying to say? Or secret that 4-H is a family thing. So tell us about your family.
Sure. Got a, kind of starting at the top, got a great mom and dad, and two great step parents. And then here locally, got a great wife. She's a stay-at-home mom with our little one. We just had a little one. She's 15 months old. Her name's Riley James, and she's become our world. And anybody that has kids can relate that they just take over, and they show you a side of yourself that you never even thought was there, or show you love that you never even thought existed. And so it's been a lot of fun chasing her around. And we've just really kind of fallen into a community here in Amarillo. It's a great part of the world. Texas is one of those states that there's really no bad side of it. There's no downside to Texas, but every little pocket of Texas is probably passionate that their little cutout is the best. And we feel strongly about the Panhandle and the life that we've been able to live here, and serve God, and be active in our church. And just it's a very giving place up here in the Panhandle, very philanthropic. And so yeah, we just got a tremendously good support team. Couldn't do anything without my wife and my folks and grandparents behind us that support us like they do. So really, really humbled in that regard, and lucky.
Johan was shaking his head pretty hard when you mentioned that the Panhandle was the best. So
we're we're
I'm a
we're
little
biased.
biased.
Yeah, we're
Yes, sir.
biased. So we recognize that, but like I said, everybody probably does and probably should feel that way about their area. We probably lost that
yeah.
as a country, or I don't know, not to go down that road, but it just and maybe I'm a little more biased to that because of my role here at the fair, but I see what connective events or strong leadership at the local level, or folks that make a strong community impact. I mean, you can have a huge impact on the world by living in a small town, and having a pretty close group of friends, or that by just being a good person, and living the right way. We recently lost my granddad, and he was just a prime example of how you can farm in a small town in West Texas for 60 years and still impact just tons and tons of people because you just live life the right way. And he brought my dad up in 4-H and FFA, and he brought that kind of translates down. So if you start the right path, you can really have a domino effect that reaches farther past than you ever could have really thought, honestly. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome to hear. Well, we sure appreciate your time, Brady. It was a joy to hear your answers and hear y'all's conversation, and really glad that we were able to have you on today.
you
Thank you
bet. Well,
so
I
much.
sure appreciate it. You bet. Thank y'all for the recognition and the platform here, but really, really supportive of 4-H, and so thank y'all for what you do.
Thank you for
Couple,
all the, I'm so sorry.
nope,
Thank
go
you
ahead. I'll
for
cut this out.
Thank you for all the work that you do, not just for the Panhandle, but for Texas 4-H as a whole. The Tri-State Fair has such a huge impact. It's had a huge impact on me personally, and it's really cool to see what you're doing firsthand.
Well, I appreciate that, Johan. And the fair goes back 100 and something years, so a lot of folks before me, but just blessed to be able to kind of carry the torch right now in the state that we're at. But folks like yourself, Johan served on our junior fair board, and a lot of good folks like him that we've been fortunate enough to interact with. So, we're proud of the work we're doing up here in the Panhandle, and I'm happy to hear your feedback on that.
Couple of reminders before we let our listeners go today. You have 2 more days to get in those leadership applications for Texas 4-H Congress. Brady talked about Congress, about how awesome it was. So if you want to be on that leadership team, you have 2 more days, get those applications turned in. Also, the Texas 4-H Foundation scholarship applications are now open. So seniors, go check those out. Don't let it get past you. Make sure you allow yourself enough time to get those applications done. Check that out on the Texas 4-H Foundation website. Well, Johan and Brady, thanks again for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
We'll see y'all next time.